The story begins with an image in a certain sect, with towering mountains and swirling clouds. A few nuns see a young man approaching and call out, "Grand Senior Brother, we pay our respects to Grand Senior Brother." Suddenly, a girl hits the one who just spoke on the head, reminding her, "Don't call out randomly. Grand Senior Brother, since he descended the mountain, has won every battle without a single survivor left under his hand, undefeated among his generation, surpassing the 9 heavens pavilion in slaughter. He is the #1 genius of the current era and has now attained the title of Elder. From now on, he should be called Elder Yi." The person everyone is talking about at this moment, with a blade of grass in his mouth and a fishing rod slung over his shoulder, is named Yi Yu. Previously, he was the Grand Senior Brother, now he is the Elder. His gaze reveals a cold demeanor as he thinks, since the crossover, the reason I can achieve ultimate kills in every battle is not because I am strong, but because. He looks at the person beside him and the cats. The survival time suddenly appears beside him, 19 days, 7 hours, 21 minutes, 54 seconds. The cats below have survival times of 170 days and 263 days. He thinks to himself, I can see the time of death for all living things. Currently, that young man has only 19 days, 7 hours, 21 minutes, and 51 seconds left. At this moment, Yi Yu approached and said to the young man, "Bullying the weak will one day bring retribution, you should arrange your affairs accordingly." He thought to himself, as long as I choose the right moment to fight my opponent, even if I don't kill them, they will still die because of it. The reputation will naturally fall upon me. At this time, the young man was still angrily chasing away a few cats. "This damned cat, how dare it scratch me?" Yi Yu walked past him. In his heart, he was still thinking, but having the ability to see through fate is not necessarily a good thing. At this moment, the people behind him were displaying astonishing numbers. In 25 years, a mysterious disaster would annihilate all living beings, even the sun and moon would find it hard to escape. Looking at the information panel in front of him, it showed 9,125 days, 15 hours, 20 minutes, and 1 second. Starting from 5 years ago, I have not inquired about matters in the martial world, traveling everywhere to consult the wise of the 100 clans, searching for intelligence about the era of declining laws. But until now, nothing has been harvested. The system's downtime has never experienced any errors. Having been powerless to salvage the situation, it is better to maintain a calm mindset. At this moment, he arrived at a house, where an old man stood at the front. He spoke, "Master." The old man waved back at him, saying, "Good disciple, I have been waiting for you for a long time." At this time, the system displayed 9,125 days, 4 hours, 21 minutes, and 50 seconds. Yi Yu entered inside, then poured tea for the master and asked, "Master, it is an honor to have you here, may I ask if there is something important?" He thought to himself, the master has lived over 100 years longer than I have, perhaps discussing the apocalypse with him will yield some good ideas. The master replied, "Indeed, there are a few important matters." He smiled and continued, "Tomorrow, the 5 major sects will go to the spirit abyss to seize treasures. The Master Pavilion hopes you can join our sect's team to help 9 Heavens Pavilion secure first place." Yi Yu thought, the world is about to be destroyed, and the 5 major sects are still fighting, it really is boring. After thinking for a moment, he said, "Master, I have something more important to do. I'm afraid I won't be able to participate this time." The master still smiled, "Is that so? Then master will decline on your behalf." Yi Yu replied, "Thank you, master, for your understanding." At this moment, the master pulled a young disciple closer and said, "Come on, San Shui, greet your grand senior brother." Yi Yu wondered, who is this? The petite and lovely girl introduced herself, "My name is San Shui, nice to meet you, grand senior brother." The master added, "This girl is my newly accepted disciple. So, Yi Yu, this little disciple of mine has talent equal to yours, right?" "Ha ha ha." Yi Yu smiled, "Ha ha, quite good, quite good." In his heart, he thought that there were only 25 years left until the apocalypse of this world. Starting to cultivate now, even if she was a genius, ultimately. Before he could finish the thought, he suddenly froze, because the system time displayed was 999,999 days. He spat out the tea he had in his mouth. Then he secretly thought, what is happening? How can her lifespan break through the limits of the apocalypse? The heavens and earth are in destruction, yet this person can escape calamity. Seeing Yi Yu staring at him, San Shui also lowered his head in concern. Yi Yu was smiling, thinking, I need to find an opportunity to have a private conversation with this little junior sister, to observe if there is anything special about her physique. Then he cleared his throat and said, Master, I would like to go to the spirit abyss to seize treasures. His master was a bit surprised and asked, Really? Then he continued, but this time, the expedition to the spirit abyss must be led by me. In his heart, he smiled wickedly. The team leader can decide the number of team members and choose people. I must find a way to control this little junior sister and study her carefully. His master then said, I'm afraid that's not possible. Yi Yu was taken aback and asked, why? His master explained, Elder Wen Jian is the top expert under the master and has always been the team leader for the Spirit Abyss expedition. Changing the leader at this time is not appropriate, especially since you are still a junior. He will not agree, as it would be too humiliating for him. At this moment, Yi Yu stepped outside without saying a word. Master On curiously asked, Yi Yu, why are you? Suddenly, Yi Yu took out a spear and said, Is it Elder Wen Jian? Then, he pulled the spear back, preparing to launch it like a javelin. Master On shouted in panic, Disciple, wait. But before he could finish his sentence, the spear in Yi Yu's hand was already flying away. It tore through the air, the tip of the spear igniting fiercely as it shot straight towards a predetermined direction. The house ahead was the target, and the spear accelerated rapidly towards it. In the blink of an eye, the spear reached the front of the designated house, crashing straight into the locked door. Inside, two people were playing chess when suddenly the door was shattered, and a huge explosion occurred. One person stood up angrily and shouted, Who dares to ambush the Wen Jian sect? From within the cloud of dust, a hand gripping the spear gradually emerged. Yi Yu appeared, then smiled and said, Master Pavilion, please do not be angry, Yi Yu has been rude. At this moment, another person stepped forward, clapping and smiling, Haha, so it's Yi Yu, my martial nephew. It's been almost 5 years since we last met, and you rushed here like this. Is there something wrong? The person behind thought to himself, Master Pavilion, isn't the matter of breaking through my roof a big deal? Yi Yu then clasped his hands and said, Master Pavilion, for the trip to Spirit Abyss tomorrow, could Elder lead the team and let me take charge? Master Pavilion, upon hearing this, felt a bit awkward, Martial nephew, your ambition makes me very happy, but this matter. He then glanced at the person beside him and continued, I might have to consult Elder Wen Jian's opinion. Beside them, Elder Wen Jian gritted his teeth in anger and thought, this is really bullying, this little guy is too dismissive of others. Thinking this, he spoke up, Martial nephew, you have recently been at the forefront of the storm. The so-called young talents, with remarkable gifts. At this moment, his hand surged with powerful spiritual energy, and a sword immediately appeared. Then he smirked and continued, but I, as an elder of 9 Heavens Pavilion, am not to be underestimated, am I? Then, the pressure from Elder Wen Jian began to emanate more strongly. The disciples of Elder Wen Jian inside started to discuss. Yi Yu really has guts, daring to come right to the door to be arrogant, making the master have to teach him a lesson. Master Pavilion, on the other hand, did not intervene. He thought to himself that he could see the progress he had made over the past 5 years was not bad, but he worried about the possibility of him getting hurt. Then, he glanced at Elder Wen Jian and spoke, Junior brother. Elder Wen Jian understood the implication and immediately replied, Master Pavilion need not worry, I will just make a move to let him know that there are higher mountains beyond. Yi Yu arrogantly said from the other side, considering you are an elder, go ahead and make your move first. The entire arena fell silent, only Elder Wen Jian's body slightly trembled with anger. Then, he raised his sword and shouted, Junior, you are insolent. The sword formation from him began to ignite, countless swords forming in succession. Seeing this, some of his disciples excitedly said, 8-sword heavenly gua, the signature technique of the master. Someone noticed something and said, No, that's not right. When they looked closely again, they saw that 9 swords had formed above. The group exclaimed, there are 9 swords, Master has reached the 9th level. Master Pavilion beside them reminded anxiously, Martial nephew, do not use all your strength to execute the technique. Elder Wen Jian laughed loudly and said, arrogant young man, let me teach you a lesson. Saying this, he sent all 9 newly formed swords straight towards Yi Yu. The pressure of the technique was extremely powerful, shattering the ground wherever it went. Strangely, Yi Yu still showed no reaction at this moment. Elder Wen Jian's technique pierced through the spot where Yi Yu stood, then broke through the house behind and continued flying away. It continued to pierce through other houses, revealing a scene of devastation. All they could see was dust and debris everywhere, everything in ruins before that terrifying power. Master Pavilion voiced his concern, "Junior brother, if your technique strikes down like this, how can Yi Yu join the expedition anymore?" Elder Wen Jian chuckled smugly, "Ha ha, I was momentarily careless, ... I hope Elder Yi can be safe and sound." His disciples were also terrified. The power of Master's 9 swords is truly frightening, even the floor is evaporating. I fear for senior brother Yi. As the dust began to clear, the tip of the spear emerged. Elder Wen Jian and Master Pavilion were somewhat startled. At this moment, Yi Yu appeared unscathed, standing without a scratch, while the area around him had been turned into a pit. The disciples gasped in shock. "Damn!" Yi Yu, looking unfazed, asked curiously, "Elder, aren't you going to make a move?" His previous words caused no damage, but the humiliation was immense, making Elder Wen Jian's face turn pale with anger. Master Pavilion beside him also felt pity for him. At this moment, Yi Yu tightened his grip on the spear and, with a surge of determination, said, "Then let the junior make the first move." Elder Wen Jian raised his sword, preparing to respond to Yi Yu. But his eyes widened in shock as he realized that Yi Yu had vanished from in front of him, only to suddenly appear behind him. Yi Yu's eyes flashed with a hint of evil energy. Then, he used the technique, Heavenly Arrow. Seeing the spear quickly thrusting towards him with no way to defend, Elder Wen Jian could only fearfully bite his lip. After that, he calmly made up his mind, sheathed his sword, and turned to Master Pavilion, saying, "Sect Master, I have caught a cold recently, it would be better to pass this opportunity on to the younger ones." Master Pavilion was left speechless upon hearing this. Yi Yu, seeing Elder Wen Jian turn and leave without continuing the fight, was filled with many question marks in his mind. Over here, San Shui asked, "What did Grand Senior Brother say in the letter?" The master could only reply helplessly, "Elder Wen Jian has a cold, he will lead the team tomorrow." Upon hearing this, San Shui laughed loudly, "So the cultivators of the 9 Heavens Pavilion also catch colds?" The master replied, "It's best if that's the case. In this world plagued by demons, where dragons and phoenixes vie for supremacy, cultivation levels determine the right to survive. There was once a strange event where they used elite divine weapons and incredibly solid fortifications, enduring challenges from myriad clans and dominating a sect. Later, for some reason, they angered the heavens, leading to divine punishment. Encompassing the storms of spirit energy, it relentlessly pulled and bombarded, destroying the entire fortress. In the end, all their fortresses were destroyed by that storm. Their civilization and records also vanished in the river of history. Now, very few people know that, even 1,000 years later, that storm has yet to be extinguished. At this moment, Yi Yu was telling San Shui, the place that was attacked by the spirit energy storm is now called the Spirit Abyss. San Shui's eyes widened in astonishment upon hearing this. Then, the girl curiously asked, "If the Spirit Abyss is so dangerous, why do we still have to go there?" Yi Yu replied, "Because there is an intention, precisely because for 1,000 years it has been covered by the spirit energy storm in the sky. The center of the storm in the cracked wall of the ancient ruins crystallizes a type of pure spirit energy crystallization. This type of crystallization can activate the potential of living beings, significantly reducing the difficulty of cultivation. As long as one is willing to invest, a person with decent talent might take half a year to a year. Both can achieve lifelong accomplishments alongside talented individuals. Every century, there will be a period of calm during that storm. Whenever this moment arrives, many powerful forces will lead teams to the ruins to collect crystals. For cultivators, nothing is more important than this event in 100 years. Do you want to see what the ancient ruins hidden by that storm for 1,000 years look like? If you miss this time, it will be 100 years until the next opportunity." San Shui was excited, "I want to go, but I just became a disciple under my master. My cultivation level is so low, is that okay?" Yi Yu gave a thumbs up and laughed loudly, Haha, this time our Nine Heavens Pavilion team is led by your senior brother. Whether to lead or not is up to me. As long as my little junior sister has the desire, there's no reason not to take her to experience the world. Hearing this, San Shui was visibly delighted. Thank you, grand senior brother, you are the best. At this moment, Yi Yu thought to himself, even if my little junior sister doesn't want to go, I have to drag her over there. I solved the riddle of the apocalypse, striving for 5 years without achieving anything. It's rare to catch a clue like little junior sister, no matter what means I have to use, I must try. Inside the spirit abyss, there are many interesting things. During my 5 years wandering the mainland, I learned how to use them. By then, I just need to carefully observe the magical talent to see if this little girl can survive the apocalypse of the world. Thinking of this, he cleared his throat and said, Ahem, today let little junior sister come here, and as promised, I will teach you a few insights on cultivation. Then, he raised his hand to examine San Shui's meridians and continued, before teaching, let me confirm your current situation. Yi Yu's 2 fingers lightly touched San Shui's wrist. Instantly, countless blood-red illusions appeared in his mind. A large eye opened, staring intently at Yi Yu. Yi Yu was startled, thinking, what is this? An illusion or an enemy ambush? Inside the illusion, Yi Yu saw a group of people laughing loudly, their eyes blood-red. Not far away, corpses were impaled by large, sharp spikes and displayed high above. Not far away, a familiar figure appeared. It was his master, but he was currently injured. He thought to himself, Master, he is hurt. Who did this? Another hand reached out. He thought, whose hand is this? Is it someone's memory? What has happened? Is this sequence of scenes the future? Suddenly, a sword slash cut through, and his master's head fell from his neck. Yi Yu stood there in shock, his eyes wide open, unable to believe what he was seeing. At that moment, bloody hands were tearing apart something, revealing countless bloodshot eyes staring at him. Surrounding him were dead bodies, some laughed excitedly, while others died without closing their eyes. A man sat atop a chair, his face obscured. He carried a giant sword beside him, and he began to mumble. Yi Yu thought, what is he saying? He shouted loudly, speak. Who are you? What just happened? The illusion shattered. Yi Yu returned to reality. But his face was still filled with horror, and his hands remained in their original position. He looked at his hands and said, what just happened? But at that moment, his hands showed signs of blood. He raised his hand to cover his mouth and then screamed in terror. Then he stepped to the side, panting heavily. Looking outside, he glanced at San Shui and asked, aren't you going to explain anything? What were those scenes just now? And who exactly are you? The person he was asking was his little junior sister, San Shui. San Shui suddenly looked at Yi Yu with a cold gaze, and the illusions around her shattered into pieces. Then she spoke, asking, how much longer can I live now? She stood there asking, how much time do I have left before I die? Yi Yu broke out in a sweat, his face becoming flustered. What are you talking about? Time to die? How would I know? San Shui replied, this is what the grand senior brother personally told me. The girl looked up at Yi Yu's tall figure and continued, grand senior brother is so powerful because he obtained a blessing from a deity long ago called the system, which allows him to see the death time of his enemies. Therefore, he has long been aware of the impending apocalypse. Yi Yu broke out in a sweat, thinking to himself, this little girl knows even about the existence of the system, although she still seems somewhat skeptical. Then, he sat down on a nearby chair and said, your fate is different from others, you can live up to 999,999 points at the end of the universe. There are still 25 years left until the world is destroyed. So what I just saw was what, and who are you? How do you know these things? San Shui replied, I am just an ordinary person who is a bit lucky. Both of my parents are mortals and have no talent for cultivation. Since I was young, an immortal from Nine Heavens Pavilion confirmed that I have no fate with cultivating immortals. When disaster strikes, with the sky collapsing and the earth shaking, mortals have no ability to protect themselves, resulting in countless casualties. Fortunately, Nine Heavens Pavilion is willing to extend a helping hand to us. The mortal who survived entered to seek refuge. That was the first time I met Grand Senior Brother, although it was just a passing encounter. In order to cope with the disaster, even a mortal must put in their best effort. I was quite lucky to always follow Grand Senior Brother in action. The senior sisters and senior brothers beside me were very considerate of my frailty. Although I often found myself in life and death situations, in the end, there was always a Grand Senior Brother who tried to save the day and turn the tide. The challenges that Grand Senior Brother faced were the most dangerous and bizarre. He was invincible, always reversing dire situations, the light for all those who remained alive. In the end, Grand Senior Brother understood the truth, realizing that the only way to save everyone was to harness the power obtained from the deity's realm and bring me back 25 years. 25 years, just a snap of the fingers, and only starting to act from now on would give us a chance to change the outcome. Yi Yu looked at Shi San Shui with an expression as if seeing a madman, thinking, the girl crossing over, the door of fate. Shi San Shui was furious upon seeing that face. Brother, what kind of expression is that? I'm just speaking the truth. Yi Yu looked at Shi San Shui's expression and compared it to how she was when they first met, thinking to himself, her personality has changed a lot. Although I haven't known little junior sister for long, her current attitude towards me is completely that of someone who understands my character. At that moment, Shi San Shui said, Grand Senior Brother, a mortal child from a farming family like me can exhibit peak-level cultivation talent, which is the best proof. This is the divine power that Grand Senior Brother left behind. You must believe me. Yi Yu replied, all right, I believe you. He thought to himself, even the system gives a special value of 999,999, there really is nothing to doubt. He then asked, so, who is the enemy? I might be able to reverse time in 25 years. What should we do now? Shi San Shui answered, the enemy is the deity, and the spirit abyss is the cruel fruit left by the deity. All beings cultivate to survive, and in order to cultivate, they will naturally seek the abyss essence crystallization. No one knows that just by using abyss essence crystallization, the soul will be polluted by the deity. Establishing a connection with the deity means that once the link is formed, one can only become a servant of the god forever. The first step for cultivators to save the world is to find a way to eliminate or even unblock the connection with the deity. Starting now, let all beings avoid this abyss essence crystallization. Yi Yu held his head and exclaimed, damn, I've used this crystallization quite a bit already. Before the side effects are revealed, its difficulty is not trivial. Advising everyone not to cultivate is almost impossible. Luckily, I have to go to the spirit abyss in a few days. At that time, I will go to the scene to see if there is any solution. Shi San Shui then said, I know, in my previous life, the Grand Senior Brother became a deity, and it seems he couldn't figure out a solution. Fortunately, I learned this information 25 years earlier, so everything is still timely. Therefore, there is still a second path to save the world. Even the deity will not completely rot the myriad races until 25 years later. At this moment, we need to race against deity and attract powerful forces first. Form alliances, establish ties, or even consider marriage. As long as the apocalypse strikes, if everyone joins forces, we can definitely change the outcome. Yi Yu replied, the principle is indeed this, the matter is too big, and I can't think of where to start right away. Shi San Shui clicked his tongue, tisk tsk, far away in the horizon, yet right in front of us. There's a good target at hand, as easy as turning over a palm. The Grand Princess of the Xia dynasty, the Sword Fairy, Sister Xia Kaiyu. No one is more suitable than her to be the first target for attraction. If we think about the Princess Lord's affection for the Grand Senior Brother, it's obvious, even someone like me can see it clearly. However, the situation of the apocalypse is pressing, and the Grand Senior Brother can only set aside this emotional matter for now. If we go back 25 years, as long as the Grand Senior Brother makes a move, dealing with the Grand Princess would definitely be as easy as turning over a palm. As he spoke, Shi San Shui displayed an admiring expression. Yi Yu behind him was momentarily silent. Then, he rubbed his head and said, until now, we have only heard about such a character and have not yet met this Grand Princess. If the trip to the Spirit Abyss is in a few days, she might be part of the Xia dynasty's team. At that time, we could take the opportunity to act. Shi San Shui raised her hand to stop. By then, it will be too late. Everyone knows the countdown to the apocalypse has begun, can we just sit idle these days? Yi Yu asked curiously, do you remember any news? For example, what are the Grand Princess's hobbies? Why does she like me? San Shui scratched her head in confusion. If you ask like that, my memory is also very vague. I need to see some key items to remember. In any case, we should set off now. Let's go meet Princess Xia Kaiyu. Who knows, the princess might fall in love at first sight, and we can act early. Saying that, she and Yi Yu started heading towards Xia Kaiyu. At that moment, while they were walking on the street, San Shui suddenly froze in place. She spoke up, so many people. I have never seen so many people since my previous life. Is today a holiday? Yi Yu spoke up, recently, during the holiday, the only thing to do is go to the spirit abyss to search for treasures. Yi Yu gently lifted his wide-brimmed hat and continued, many casual cultivators want to borrow a boat from the Xia dynasty to go to the spirit abyss in search of treasures. San Shui questioned, why does the grand senior brother want to change clothes? Isn't it better if Xia's sister directly likes you? Yi Yu replied, the Nine Heavens Pavilion and the Xia dynasty have not yet formed an alliance. I am also an elder of the Nine Heavens Pavilion. Elders need to notify in advance when going on a tour. If I directly meet with the Grand Princess, things will become even more complicated. At this moment, Yi Yu looked towards a certain direction and smiled, it was the Imperial Banquet Pavilion. He said, this time I came here to gather information, first, I will go to the place with the fastest news. Saying that, he led San Shui inside. Once inside, they were greeted by a feast of delicious food, sweet and sour ribs, steamed buns, and a whole roasted chicken. Seeing this food, San Shui blushed a little, clearly seeing it for the first time. Noticing her expression, Yi Yu asked. Haven't you tried these dishes in your past life at the Nine Heavens Pavilion? San Shui replied with a sigh, at that time, everyone was too busy trying to survive in the apocalypse, who cared about delicious food? Being able to have a good meal was a luxury. She pulled Yi Yu's hand, eyeing the food with longing. Yi Yu pulled her back and pointed upwards, saying, if you didn't have the chance to taste it before, then today, senior brother will make it up to you. Over there is the buffet area, go see if there's anything that suits your taste. Looking at the food piled high like a building in front of her, San Shui couldn't help but drool. Yi Yu then spoke to the girl at the Imperial Banquet Pavilion, please arrange a seating for us in the VIP area. As long as it's quiet and undisturbed, that's enough. The girl replied, young master, you may not know, but the seats here are reserved in advance. If you want to reserve a VIP seat now, I'm afraid. Meanwhile, San Shui was exclaiming, this must have hundreds of varieties. Suddenly, Yi Yu took out a silver ingot and placed it in the girl's hand. Then, he took another bar and said, isn't it just money? Money is not the issue. After that, the two were arranged a table upstairs, where they could see the scenery below. San Shui was holding the menu and selecting dishes. Looking at the price list on the menu, San Shui felt a bit worried, senior brother, the prices here seem a bit expensive. Yi Yu said without hesitation, picking up the bell and shaking it, order, order. Then he told the waiter, take one first, if it's not enough, we'll order more. Upon hearing this, San Shui was shocked, her soul leaving her body. Yi Yu smiled, I know girls like to eat beautiful pastries. But specifically, which pastries are the most effective, I still need your help to test. Then he placed a bag of money on the table and continued, you can take this money. If you want to eat anything else, just order freely, don't hold back. San Shui's eyes lit up as she looked at Yi Yu, while Yi Yu stood up and walked outside. The scene inside the Imperial Banquet Pavilion was very lively, with people coming and going. Yi Yu had also stepped outside. The crowd was bustling. Yi Yu thought to himself. Although the top combat power of the Xia dynasty is not inferior, its internal affairs are not as strong as those of the Nine Heavens Pavilion. It is said that in the past, Xia would sell companions to casual cultivators in the spirit abyss, ensuring that the overall quality of their teams would not fall behind other forces. The Xia princess, being of noble lineage from the dynasty, must be involved in this. Conversely, this is also an opportunity to trace the source clearly. Suddenly, he noticed someone sipping on something. He thought, This person has been drinking alone for a long time and is always considering those around him. His demeanor and attire are quite extraordinary. Being so at ease here suggests he has a significant background. Perhaps I can gather some intelligence from him. With that in mind, he approached the person and spoke. I see you drinking alone, which can be quite lonely and dull. If our meeting is fate, may I have the honor of sharing a drink with you? The person smiled and replied. If you don't mind, just speak your mind directly, there's no need for such formalities. Hearing this, Yi Yu laughed heartily. Haha, I really have nothing to hide. The upcoming trip to the Spirit Abyss, I'm afraid a casual cultivator like me won't yield much. I've heard that the Desya spaceship is still on its way forward. Seeing the extraordinary demeanor of the brother, I wonder if there's any way I can join this trip. The other person replied. To board the ship of the Desya dynasty, you must first consider whether you have the strength for it. Relying solely on flattery won't save you from the dangers deep within the Spirit Abyss. At that point, you might just lose your life. At this moment, Yi Yu took out a strikingly beautiful bottle. What you said makes a lot of sense, but I have no parents and no foundation. I truly don't know how strong one needs to be to meet the standards. This is a wine I've kept for myself, and it's not really anything precious. Just consider it a way to relieve your worries, and I hope you can offer some guidance. Upon seeing this bottle of wine, the other person spat out the wine in his mouth. In his heart, he thought. This wine has such rich spiritual energy, how could a casual cultivator possess something so good? After that, he poured himself a glass and quickly brought it to his lips to taste. His face began to flush. With his eyes tightly closed, savoring the flavor, he spoke. Follow me. Yi Yu also followed this person. At this moment, the two passed by a group of guards. Seeing this, Yi Yu thought to himself. It seems I've found the right person, being able to come and go freely in the military camp is probably not something ordinary. After walking a bit further, soldiers blocked Yi Yu's path. One shouted loudly. Wu Shuang, who allowed you to bring someone to the military camp? It was a woman. She pointed her sword at the other person and continued. The Spirit Abyss expedition is approaching, and the military camp is already busy checking casual cultivators. You are busy wandering around and having fun. If you can't help, that's one thing, but bringing someone to play with you in the military camp? Do you think this is your family's backyard? Her gaze was cold and threatening. Take your bad friend and get out of here. This is a military camp, not a place for you to casually bring someone to stroll around. The young man called Wu Shuang began to explain. Sister, you misunderstood. This person is the casual cultivator I came to find. Yi Yu, who was beside him, also spoke up, as long as the strength is sufficient, that's all that matters, right? He smirked and continued, I have great confidence in my own strength, I wonder when the assessment can begin. After that, the three of them entered a room and sat down together. The girl sitting across from Yi Yu said, I am the examiner. Out of nowhere, a sword appeared and plunged straight into the ground. The girl then said, if you can withstand 3 moves from me, the Desya dynasty spaceship will reserve a spot for you. Hearing this, Yi Yu secretly smiled to himself, if I can get through 3 moves, I qualify for the ship. Ah, is this to show off? Then, he nodded and replied, I would like to seek your guidance. Saying that, he also began to take a stance. The girl stared at him, thinking, with this indifferent demeanor, let's see how long you can remain relaxed. After that thought, she immediately attacked. In the blink of an eye, she seemed to teleport and appeared right in front of Yi Yu. Yi Yu glanced at her movements. Although the girl's actions were very quick, Yi Yu seemed very calm. At this moment, the girl stared at him with a confident gaze. Her fingers became like swords, striking forward, but Yi Yu simply shifted his foot slightly and brushed her aside. The girl lost her balance and fell forward. Yi Yu quickly caught her arm and then smiled, saying, I let you win. The girl assumed a defensive stance again, then looked at him angrily and said, that was just blocking the first move, don't get too pleased with yourself. Blocking the second move is what truly shows skill. Saying that, she began to execute her technique. Her hand shot out, the movement swift and skillful, then she unleashed a palm strike. From that, a large flame shot towards Yi Yu, but he remained indifferent, not making any movement at all. Then he smiled and thought, this move has a great show of force, but it's just superficial. The inner strength of the Xia dynasty is merely this much. With that thought, he raised his hand, the motion so fast that an afterimage could still be seen. Suddenly, his eyes widened in astonishment. At that moment, the girl jumped into the air and unexpectedly appeared in front of him. He exclaimed inwardly, in the void, reality hides. His hand movement also froze. Just after that, their palms met. The flames created by the girl began to spread around, and the two remained in that position. The force generated a whirlwind that lifted the teenager named Wu Shuang, but fortunately, he managed to cling to a nearby pole. He shouted loudly, "Hey, is this really a fight?" This strike caused a series of explosions behind him, while the girl stood there, her hand directed forward. At this moment, the girl became a bit cautious, thinking to herself, this man. Because Yi Yu was still standing there without any issues. Yi Yu also thought, the inner strength of this young lady is truly domineering, being able to cultivate such a skill indicates that her background is not simple at all. After thinking this, he said, at this age, the judge possesses such strength, it truly commands respect. One cannot judge by appearances, I was disrespectful just now. The girl also spoke up, spare me the flattery, just tell me your true intentions. What do you really want? With your skills, obtaining the abyss essence crystallization should be as easy as flipping your hand, so why bother exerting yourself to board our Xia dynasty's ship? Yi Yu began to feel flustered. This. The young lady noticed his hesitation and said, if you have something difficult to say, find another place, the Xia ship will not take you anywhere. Hearing this, Yi Yu thought, this little girl is so cautious, it's not easy to brush off casual lies. After all, I'm not here to do anything against my conscience, being careful might actually be a good idea. Thinking this, Yi Yu spoke up, the Xia dynasty, Grand Princess Xia Kaiyu, renowned throughout the world for her beauty, both strong and gentle, a beauty like jade, with a sword like a rainbow, wielding an immortal sword with excellence. Anyone who meets her says she is like a fairy descended to earth, earning the title Sword Fairy. A flower of such high elegance, if one is a casual cultivator without power or influence like me, even just a fleeting glance would make one sigh for a lifetime of unfulfilled destiny. But right now, it is indeed extraordinary. If I could be lucky enough to get this once-in-a-100-year boat ticket, it might compensate for the regret of not being able to admire her beauty. The girl then asked, is it just to admire beauty? Aren't there many other ways? Yi Yu replied, military instructor, don't speculate about my true feelings, my self-awareness is not lacking. If our relationship can progress a step further, it will also depend on the military instructor's recommendation. The girl then placed her hand on the sword and continued, you have a sharp tongue, but your strength is not ordinary. I might give you a chance. Choose a weapon that suits you, if you can block my third strike, I will personally recommend you to the Xia princess. Saying this, she slowly drew her sword, a faint smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Yi Yu said, thank you, military instructor, for your support. In his heart, he thought, yo, hearing this, she might be someone close to Xia Kaiyu. If I can extract some intelligence from her later, work will be enjoyable. But just as he thought that, his expression turned a bit grim. He saw the girl starting to unleash her skills. Her eyes closed, her demeanor calm. The sword danced sharply and gracefully, flames began to flare up around her. Yi Yu was astonished, what is this? He only saw the corner of the girl's mouth lift, as if the move was complete and she was confident in her victory. Yi Yu's eyes widened in shock. The girl shouted, take this. Then, she pointed the tip of her sword towards Yi Yu and struck. A whirlwind surged forth, heading straight for Yi Yu. The young man named Wu Shuang turned pale and exclaimed, oh my. The girl's sharp sword was about to stab Yi Yu. He raised his staff to defend himself, his face glistening with sweat. Immediately upon impact, an explosion occurred. Flames shot high into the air, smoke spread around, and a loud roar echoed. The staff Yi Yu was using was knocked straight towards Wu Shuang. At that moment, Yi Yu spoke up, truly worthy of being the military instructor of the Xia Empire. I admit defeat. Yi Yu had been knocked back, sitting on the ground, watching the girl still coldly holding her sword, staring at him. Yi Yu then said, this third move has power far beyond my expectations. Even if I exert all my strength, I cannot withstand it. He then stood up, walked closer to Wu Shuang, scratched his head, and said apologetically, haha, Wu Shuang, you have caused me more trouble. Wu Shuang replied, on the contrary, it could also lead to friendship. At that moment, Yi Yu strolled away. Suddenly, the voice of the girl echoed from behind, stop. Can you meet Princess Xia? Yi Yu questioned with a, then laughed loudly and said, well, if you play, you must bear the consequences, this little skill of mine should not be an issue. Before he could finish his sentence, the girl presented a golden-scented pouch before Yi Yu's astonished eyes. Then, blushing, she said, use this scented pouch as a token on the Spirit Abyss ship. You can rely on this item to arrange a meeting with the princess. This item is very important, absolutely do not lose it. Having said that, she handed the scented pouch to Yi Yu. He took it and smiled, replying, then I thank you, military instructor lord of the Xia dynasty. Scene transition, back to the Imperial Banquet Pavilion. Yi Yu was frowning, looking quite troubled, though it was unclear what he had seen. In front of him was a stack of plates piled high like a building. San Shui had eaten so much that her stomach bulged like a barrel as she sat in the chair. Seeing him return, she spoke up. Senior brother, you're back. Looking at the girl in front of him, Yi Yu said, your appetite is really impressive. The innocent girl San Shui replied, Grand Senior brother, have you heard about the spirit spring of the Imperial Banquet Pavilion? Yi Yu thought for a moment and replied, that name sounds familiar. San Shui continued, it's the hot spring located on the top floor, which can refine spiritual energy to upgrade cultivation. I've heard rumors that the spring water is as effective as spirit stones from the Spirit Abyss. When cultivation is low, soaking in it can help with training, boost health, invigorate blood circulation, enhance beauty, and has a ton of benefits. Yi Yu's eyes widened in astonishment as he asked, is it really that good? Do you want to try it? San Shui answered, I would love to try it, but unfortunately, it's all been sealed off by the royal city today. Perhaps if we remember first, next time we will have the opportunity to explore, Yi Yu said with a smile. Saving the world, fighting for every moment, why wait until next time to do what we want? Upon hearing this, San Shui felt a bit excited, but then remembered she was being watched and said, but Grand Senior brother, if we sneak in like this, what if we get caught on the spot? Yi Yu replied, you just need to soak, I will keep watch for you. If someone comes, with my body movement, it's basically impossible for anyone to notice if I take you away. Then, he handed a fragrant pouch to San Shui and said, this is for you. San Shui asked curiously, what is this? Yi Yu smiled and said, the fragrant pouch supports cultivation, it's an essential item for a new cultivator to access the sect. Later, the master will give you a fragrant pouch like this for accessing the sect. When you soak, having it beside you can enhance your absorption of spiritual energy. After that, San Shui went to soak herself. She placed the fragrant pouch beside her and then lowered herself into the water, saying, this feels really comfortable. Her cheeks flushed, and she wore a joyful expression. She recalled what Yi Yu had said. The fragrant pouch is inside, and I have adjusted it according to the highest efficiency ratio. The reserve power of the hot spring is very strong, so remember not to push yourself too hard. If you feel unwell, you must come out earlier. Thinking about it, San Shui said, I don't know if I will have another chance to come here to cultivate in the future, and moreover, I have to use the fragrant pouch specially prepared by Grand Senior brother. After saying that, she let herself sink completely below the surface, thinking, I absolutely cannot let Grand Senior brother down. But, Grand Senior brother's fragrant pouch is still quite special. Could it be that Grand Senior brother has a maiden's heart? Outside, Yi Yu was still guarding San Shui. He thought to himself, it's been almost 2 hours now, I didn't expect this little girl to be able to endure for so long. The effect of that hot spring can be beneficial for cultivating body skills. This path of refining the body is destined to come with degeneration and suffering. I originally wanted her to experience a bit of it, and later, after her cultivation levels up, she would come here a few more times. Now it seems I still underestimate her. With this willpower, during this time, it is not impossible for her to choose between martial arts or spiritual cultivation, and I could also consider passing down my true teachings to her, to help her improve. The small body thrusts the long spear into the enemy's leg. At this moment, the system displayed 18 days again, and Yi Yu panicked. Oh my, why has destiny changed to 18? At this time, San Shui was in a state of near death. Yi Yu quickly rushed inside. After pulling her up, he secretly wiped his sweat and said, "That scared me to death. The apocalypse couldn't kill you, but I almost lost my life in this hot spring. What should I say to you to make it better? Sigh, little girl, you are really stubborn." But Yi Yu was completely unaware that the girl who had just claimed to be a military instructor was appearing right behind him. Immediately, she grabbed a water ladle and rushed to attack. Yi Yu quickly turned around to defend himself, then with one move, he pushed her back. Accidentally, her scarf fell off her body, and she lay sprawled on the ground, unconscious. Uncertain how long later, the girl reappeared in the bathing pool. She hazily woke up after being unconscious. Seeing herself soaking in the water, her body was also covered by a shawl. She hugged her head and thought, why did I fall asleep here? She recalled the moment after the victory when Yi Yu had attacked Wu Shuang. Wu Shuang's head was swollen, to the point that even a sow wouldn't recognize him. He spoke up, feeling wronged, "Sister, stop hitting me. Didn't we win? Why are you still taking your anger out on me?" The girl looked at him angrily with fiery eyes. "Stop wasting words. The prince of the Xia family should set an example and become a good model for the clan. You live idly day by day, lacking ambition. What right do you have to show your face among casual cultivators relying on us?" She thought to herself, among the casual cultivators outside, there are indeed hidden talents. Today, that aimless guy not only neutralized my offense but also pretended to surrender, undermining me. With such talent and strength, if we could recruit him, it would surely help resolve the Xia family's dire situation of lacking mid-level combat power. Thinking of that, her cheeks inadvertently flushed. She's in love, she's in love. Then, she turned to Wu Shuang and said, "As the eldest daughter, caring for the people and the country, I practice diligently every day. Yet, you, the eldest son, are out playing everywhere, even specifically seeking casual cultivators to increase my intensity. Now I should teach you, so you can broaden your horizons in the brutal world of cultivation." Wu Shuang tightly hugged her sword and shouted, "It's so unfair. I only happened to meet that casual cultivator." Then, he quickly added, "Wait a minute, sister. Today is the day the Su Spirit Spring opens its medicinal power. The Su Spirit Spring of the Imperial Banquet Pavilion has been closed for 100 days and will open for 3 days. Your younger brother isn't wandering around, I already went to enjoy my private time on the first day. The eldest daughter of the Xia family, caring for the people and the country, diligently practicing is a role model for my generation. To reward you, let's set off now. The whole lake will contribute its strength for you. Breakfast, apricot tea, and fragrance, my younger brother has arranged everything perfectly. Are you satisfied?" Upon hearing that, Xia Kaiyu's cheeks flushed. Let me call this girl by her name, her identity is starting to unfold. Xia Kaiyu smiled and said, "Humph, why are you still standing there? Don't let the spring water get cold." Then, she walked to the Imperial Banquet Pavilion, to the highest floor, where hot water was steaming. Xia Kaiyu took off her clothes, then grabbed a towel to cover her body before approaching the water basin. Suddenly, she sensed someone's presence. Huh, isn't it supposed to be all covered? Her eyes were full of vigilance, it's a man. She angrily thought, that pervert barged into the women's bath. She picked up a nearby ladle, "Today, I will make sure you leave and never return." Then, she swung the ladle intending to hit Yi Yu. Back to reality, Xia Kaiyu held her head and said, "Strange, why can't I remember anything after that? Am I too tired?" At that moment, someone approached her from behind and said, "Lady, you dropped something." Xia Kaiyu turned back, puzzled, letting out a sound of confusion. Seeing the fragrant bag in the other person's hand, she immediately realized, "Isn't this what I just took out?" Her face flushed, and she angrily thought to herself, "Damn it, so it's that pervert." Meanwhile, Yi Yu had taken San Shui to rest. Seeing her slowly waking up, Yi Yu smiled and said, you're awake. Sure San Shui was still in a daze, asking, where is this? Wasn't I still soaking in the hot spring? Yi Yu replied, we're home now, this is Nine Heavens Pavilion. You almost fell asleep in that hot spring, ending your mission early. Then he took out a prepared bag of food and said, first, eat something, I brought back quite a bit from the Imperial Banquet Pavilion. Sure San Shui exclaimed, food, I want it, I want to eat. Sure San Shui rubbed her head and said, my head hurts, I feel a bit uncomfortable. Yi Yu immediately said, don't show off so much next time, we are the ones who have to save the world. When something happens, you must be careful and cautious in what you say. That's right, I met the Xia princess yesterday. But at this moment, Sure San Shui was still rubbing her head, lost in thought. After a while, she finally caught up and excitedly asked. Where did you meet? How did you meet? What impression did she leave? Xia's sister must be in love with you, right? Yi Yu quickly stopped Sure San Shui. Wait a minute, at this pace, you're jumping several levels, aren't you? Then he sighed with concern and said. Well, at first it was a chance encounter, then I expressed my feelings with a punch, and finally we met openly. That's how it is, I guess it left a good impression. Hearing this, Sure San Shui urged. Tell me in detail, can you please stop beating around the bush? I'm too anxious. At this moment, Yi Yu noticed something unusual, his gaze at Sure San Shui was a bit strange. It turned out her body had undergone some changes, and the spiritual energy within her was manifesting strongly. He said. The hot spring from yesterday was very beneficial for your level up. You've just joined the sect for a few days, and now you can already let your true chi show externally. He is a timeless genius. Taking advantage of the current state of being at his best, first, don't think about irrelevant things anymore, quickly consolidate your cultivation first. Later, I will find some basic skills to teach a bit to the Accede sect for you. Suddenly, Sure San Shui shouted, oh no. Yi Yu didn't understand what was happening. Sure San Shui then said, the second senior sister scheduled for you to go to class early today, and it seems that the time we agreed upon has already passed. Yi Yu smiled, Jingwen junior sister, her personality is quite good. If you don't go, she might directly use family discipline, so there's no need to worry. At that moment, a girl appeared at the door of Sure San Shui's room. Sure San Shui's voice rang out from inside, this is the issue of first impressions. The girl pushed the door open, stepping in under the curious gaze of Yi Yu and Sure San Shui. She softly spoke, good morning. Grand senior brother, I came to teach early for little junior sister. This was probably none other than Sure San Shui's second senior sister, Jingwen. At this moment, Jingwen was passionately lecturing, while Sure San Shui focused on listening and reading. Jingwen said, above is the firmament of the 9 heavens. Below is abyss Bok Shuyan. At any time, there is a recurring struggle for rights related to resources, territory, and even survival. The strong Van Tak is eyeing it. The weak races can only seek survival in the gaps. Our human clan was also born from the Van Tak. Until now, we are a superior race ranked 9th among the top 10. The survival of the clan often depends on the instability of the number of top guardians. Now, the human clan can live in comfort, relying on the number of many top great powers. To threaten the Van Tak, we must diligently cultivate and strive to become a star of the human clan like the Grand Senior Brother. It is precisely because of the quantity of the top strong that the life and death of the clan can be decided. Therefore, any means that can enhance the nurturing of the strong, all clans will not hesitate to invest resources into. But the extraordinary strong is itself a miracle of effort and opportunities. Even without calculating the cost, the success rate still depends on luck. For a race, placing the hope of survival on luck is truly a very dangerous thing. Therefore, the means to ensure the generated strength is very necessary. The most important tool in this is the abyss essence crystallization, which can activate the potential of practitioners. 100 years ago, to allow individuals to reach the pinnacle of cultivation and significantly reduce the cost of strengthening their power, only the 10 supreme races had the qualifications to monopolize the spirit abyss. This also represents an absolute deficiency in the ranking of the myriad races. Not only that, but I have also heard rumors that the abyss essence crystallization has some even more mysterious effects, even capable of extending lifespan. To exaggerate, it can even lead to transcendent transformations. In short, it is a treasure among treasures, related to the survival of the race. At this moment, San Shui asked in confusion, "Senior sister, don't you think that something so perfect is really reasonable? The 5 elements of water and fire, yin and yang, everything tends to become worse when pushed too far. The effectiveness and cost of spirit abyss treasures here are good, too good, to the point that they don't seem like earthly possessions. Normally, mushrooms that appear beautiful have the strongest toxicity." Jingwen smiled and replied, "Having such vigilance is understandable." Wait until you use it once, then you'll understand it clearly." Then she moved closer and pinched San Shui's cheek, continuing. "But, little junior sister, it's only been a few days since we last met, and your cultivation has advanced so much. Your talent is truly impressive. Moreover, even your skin is softer. Do you have some secret cultivation method?" San Shui looked up at Jingwen and replied. "Oh, this." Jingwen then said. "Not only is your skin more beautiful, but you also have a special fragrance about you." San Shui asked back. "Really?" Jingwen looked at San Shui's face and said. "Your face is red, so you definitely have some secret. Senior sister treats you well, yet you hide it from me. Come on, let me see." San Shui shyly said. "Senior sister, please don't, ah." Yi Yu outside, hearing these ambiguous words, felt speechless and didn't know what to do. At this moment, a voice came from inside. Don't move around too much." Yi Yu couldn't take it anymore and turned to remind them. "Joking is one thing, but Jingwen junior sister, don't go too far." At this moment, the scene that caught his eye was San Shui riding on Jingwen. Yi Yu curiously asked. "What are you two doing?" Jingwen didn't know how to respond, only feeling her cheeks suddenly flush. Yi Yu immediately felt guilty and said. "I'm so sorry to interrupt, I'll take my leave now." Both San Shui and Jingwen spoke up. "Grand senior brother, it's not what you think." After clarifying the misunderstanding, everyone sat down again. Jingwen spoke up. "Do I still have abyss essence crystallization or not?" "Yes, the master has always given it to me. In fact, I have secretly stored quite a bit. My cultivation isn't that high, and I thought it would be a pity to use it so early, so I kept it for a long time without use. I originally wanted to wait until I broke through a major realm to use it. And now it has dragged on until now. That's right, instead of picking a date, why not choose today? Instead of using it on myself, let's help little junior sister today. With little junior sister's talent being so good, who knows, she might soar to great heights in one step." Yi Yu then said, "Stop joking, the items that the sect provides, especially important materials like this, cannot simply be said to be given away, right? Today's gathering here is fateful, my grand senior brother will help you explore the state of the balance." Jingwen smiled, while San Shui felt a bit fearful at that moment. Then, Yi Yu sat down with Jingwen and said, "Jingwen, relax, feel your breath. Clear your thoughts, let go of your defenses, focus inward, be without thought, be without desire, be without envy." Upon hearing this, Jingwen began to relax her body. Her hand gently reached forward and then placed it on Yi Yu's hand. At that moment, Yi Yu also entered Jingwen's divine soul. Seeing the divine soul before him, he thought to himself, "This is the fire fate divine soul of my little junior sister." Finding an excuse to come to such an important place is to see firsthand how the user of abyss essence crystallization is less contaminated. And if it's possible to address the early stage of the symptoms and intervene, can the seal of the divine weapon be resolved? Then, he noticed something and said. "This white spot is the trace left by the use of crystallization." Saying this, he raised his hand to check. Then, that thing also started to move closer to him. Suddenly, Jingwen's divine soul appeared from below and placed her hand on Yi Yu's hand. Jingwen's memories flashed in Yi Yu's mind. He thought to himself, "This is the celebration party when junior sister Jingwen had just entered the sect. I used the lowest cultivation realm and defeated all challengers in the sect's competition, taking first place. Could this be the memory of junior sister Jingwen? Another image appeared, a group of people blocking Jingwen's path. Yi Yu thought, they are little guys from another sect who happened to encounter junior sister on her way down the mountain. At that moment, a bun was thrown straight at the face of the leader. That was none other than Yi Yu. The group saw him and panicked, running away. At this time, Yi Yu, holding a bag of buns, said, "Who dropped the jewels of my little junior sister? Senior brother will take revenge for you. Come, the buns are fresh out of the oven, try one to calm down." Seeing this scene, Yi Yu silently thought, the scene of memories has sound. Immediately, he realized something was wrong, quickly withdrawing his hand, his face starting to show worry. He thought to himself, as long as I get touched by these white-clothed female bodies, I will fall into Jingwen's memories. I didn't know that the divine soul had this defensive mechanism. At this moment, many Jingwens with pure white bodies approached, surrounding Yi Yu and calling out, Grand Senior Brother, are you here? Grand Senior Brother, come over quickly, Grand Senior Brother. Yi Senior Brother, I am your junior sister. Grand Senior Brother, I am here. The voices continued to ring out. Grand Senior Brother, look at me. Grand Senior Brother. Yi Yu thought to himself, this is troublesome. At the position where Yi Yu stood, a whirlpool appeared at his feet. Those figures were still approaching him, calling out, Grand Senior Brother, I miss you so much, Grand Senior Brother. Then, they began to hold Yi Yu's face, the voices still echoing. At that moment, Yi Yu suddenly disappeared. The figures began to panic and search. Grand Senior Brother, where are you? Why are you hiding from me? Suddenly, the black flames appeared before them. From within, something that resembled a bright red eye opened. Yi Yu had now regained his senses. Seeing him awake, San Shui asked, Grand Senior Brother, what is the result of the investigation? Yi Yu rubbed his head and said, I encountered something strange. The divine soul of Jingwen junior sister is indeed a bit peculiar. I will investigate the skill instruction books later and provide details. At that moment, Jingwen also woke up. She called out, Grand Senior Brother, which caught Yi Yu's attention. Jingwen seemed to be completely under control. Her eyes glowed pink and strange patterns appeared. She looked at Yi Yu and said, Why do you want to leave? Yi Yu called out, Jingwen junior sister. Unexpectedly, Jingwen pushed Yi Yu to the floor and then pinned him down. Seeing this passionate scene, San Shui blushed and shouted. Lin senior sister. Yi Yu hurriedly called out, Jingwen, wake up quickly. At this moment, Jingwen was completely under control. She blushed and said, Grand Senior Brother, for 5 years you have been in seclusion and disappeared, Jingwen has always remembered you. I just thought of you finding a partner, and I couldn't sleep because it made me uncomfortable. I am just your junior sister, and now I don't even have a single junior sister left. Grand Senior Brother, can you just look at me? You are the one who cares for your junior sister the most, can you just care for me? Yi Yu anxiously shouted, calm down. Jingwen, come to your senses a bit. Suddenly, Yi Yu's eyes also displayed patterns like Jingwen's. He spoke, thinking to himself, what am I still refusing? She has come all the way here. Isn't refusing only going to hurt others more? This little girl Jingwen has grown up. Now is the best time to reap the rewards. Suddenly, San Shui's shout rang out. Grand Senior Brother. Yi Yu suddenly came to his senses. He quickly supported Jingwen. San Shui, seeing Jingwen not moving, asked worriedly. Second Senior Sister, are you okay? Yi Yu helped her lie down beside him and said. I'm fine, I just made her faint, I don't know when she'll wake up or if she can recover. San Shui asked anxiously, what exactly happened? Yi Yu held his head and replied, I tried to come into contact with the pollution left by abyss essence crystallization, and then something strange happened. If you hadn't called me earlier, I might have been affected too. Then he looked at Jingwen, who was unconscious, and continued, even I could be enchanted. At that moment, Jingwen opened her eyes. But it was only in her mind. She wondered, where is this? A figure in white appeared, calling her name, Lin Jingwen. She smiled and said, "Long time no see, or rather, this is our first meeting." Jingwen looked at the figure that looked exactly like her and then angrily questioned, "You, why do you look exactly like me?" The figure replied, "I am you. I have delved into your desires. I know how infatuated you are with Grand Senior Brother, this burning desire, making me unable to hold back and wanting to help you just once." Jingwen blushed and said, "No, don't guess randomly. Why did you bring me here, after all?" The figure approached, wrapping an arm around Jingwen's shoulders and said, "He comes from an orphan background, with no family to support him. He suppresses the crown prince in the world, and at a young age, his reputation is already far-reaching. He is such a genius, yet has never been arrogant. Since I joined the sect, I have witnessed Grand Senior Brother's closeness multiple times, creating miracles and striving to turn the situation around. No one can rival him. Anyone who mocks or bullies me, whether they are an elder, a prince, or any other great character, he will show up for me. A hero so carefree, is it strange that I love him?" Jingwen hit the nail on the head, turning her face away and stammering, "That's right, but so what? The closer I get, the more I understand that the distance between me and Grand Senior Brother is hard to overcome. The height of Grand Senior Brother now is something I will never achieve in my lifetime." The figure was just waiting for this. It then cupped Jingwen's face and said, "I can help you." The figure began to curl into a sinister smile. "If I can't have him, why shouldn't I be able to have him? You are inherently special, making it hard for me to look away. We are too compatible, both yearning to claim the Grand Senior Brother as our own. I have what you need, and even more, you just need to come with me." Suddenly, at that moment, Jingwen grabbed the hand of that figure. "Before we discuss whether I can help you or not, there is something I need to make clear. Can we not have our faces flaunting while talking to each other?" Then, Jingwen woke up back to reality. San Shui, seeing her awake, joyfully rushed over and called out, Grand Senior Brother, the second senior sister is awake." Jingwen held her head, puzzled, and asked, "Why did I fall asleep?" Yi Yu approached, worried and inquired, "Jingwen, does your body feel uncomfortable anywhere?" Jingwen blushed, feeling embarrassed, and replied, My body is fine, it's just like I dozed off a bit." She secretly thought, "I didn't say anything stupid, did I?" Thinking for a moment, she said, "I remember Grand Senior Brother is still helping me investigate the situation. What is the result? Although I know I have no special talent." At this moment, Yi Yu and San Shui exchanged glances without saying anything. Seeing this, Jingwen asked anxiously, "What is your reaction? Is it that serious?" Yi Yu replied, "Lin Junior Sister, don't jump to conclusions, there's nothing that Grand Senior Brother can't handle. Moreover, let me prepare a bit. It's getting late today, you should take little Junior Sister back to the sect to rest." Jingwen was a bit confused. Why is it so easy to brush it off like that? Am I really able to save him? San Shui also smiled and said, "Senior Sister, let's go, I still want to talk to Master." Hearing this, Jingwen realized that these people were hiding something from her, and she exclaimed, "Eh." After that, Jingwen and San Shui left. On the way back, Jingwen spoke up, unknowingly, "It has gotten so late. After Grand Senior Brother secures the elder position, he will get his own residence and move out of the disciples' dormitory. Since he has been in seclusion for 5 years. Today is still the first time I visit the estate, and it ends like this. I feel like today was a bit wasted, it seems I haven't accomplished anything." As she spoke, her face turned red again. "Hey, what am I saying? It seems I have slept all day." "I'm a bit embarrassed," San Shui beside her asked. "Lin Senior Sister, are you really okay? Your face is really red," Jingwen said shyly upon hearing this. "It's just the sunset. I'm fine, don't worry." Then she happily took San Shui's hand and continued, "Let's go, today we meet Grand Senior Brother, and let him check my pulse. Tonight, Senior Sister will show off her cooking skills to you." In her heart, she secretly laughed, if there's another chance in the future, just lying on Grand Senior Brother would be enough. Hee hee.